Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me welcome you again on our Energies webinar. Today's topic is diabetes and cardiovascular system. I am very happy that Misha has joined us, and I am passing my word over to her, and enjoy the webinar.
Hello, everybody. It's really nice again to see you here, and I'm looking forward for today's topic because it's a very common disease and it's a problem for a huge amount of population. So I think that diabetes is right now like epidemic problem because it's everywhere and it's causing problems for the youngsters, not only for elderly ones, which it used to be. So I think we should look over the diabetes because this is also very good season for solving such a problem. Because as we are following the traditional Chinese medicine system, so we are actually in the mid season now, which is Earth season, and Earth is pretty much connected to the diabetes because Earth element belongs to the pancreas and to the spleen. So what I wanted to show you again is a pentagram because diabetes is the earth element problem. However, there are several ways how to cure it on the beginning, and also depends on the symptoms of diabetes, and the symptoms are leading us to the source of the problem. So we have the earth, which is the yellow, and earth is born from the fire. So when the fire element is not in balance, then we don't have a strong earth element. Or there can be also pretty much strong. I hope. Do you see the pentagram? Great, thank you so much. So if the earth element is weak, or it's weakened, we can support it by the earth. So by the wood element. So it connects to the earth element as well. Then we can also have very good potential, because when earth element is too much or too low, then it can affect also the water element. So as we can see, there are so many elements which are connected, and which you can see the people with diabetes are having then problems because and I will talk about it later on. I just wanted to say something more about the diabetes, because diabetes is actually uh, not only one disease, but it's a name for several diseases. And the huge problems of this, and the one which is connection, is the high blood sugar levels, which is called hyperglycemia. And this is actually the main problem of the body, because when we have the high blood sugar uh, in our body, then something is going on, and the high blood sugar level is usually causing so many problems which we usually don't see on the beginning if it's not critical condition. So We have also insulin. Insulin is hormone, which is really very like plays very crucial role in sugar levels regulation. So without this insulin, we can't work because our cells can't absorb the sugar and can't actually all the muscles and everything can't work without it. And the insulin is the hormone which is needed for this. Without insulin, we can't work. Our organs, our muscles can't work. Insulin is usually produced by the beta cells in the pancreas. And now we are here in the earth element. So pancreas and spleen, according to the Chinese medicine, are just as one organ which is connected to the earth element. And because the insulin is produced by the beta cells, which are in pancreas, we are directly in the earth element. So these beta cells are very crucial, and that's why the pancreas is, I think, according to the Chinese medicine, without pancreas, we can't use the nutrition which we got for the body. So in other words, in West medicine, we say that the beta cells are producing the insulin, which works with the sugar, and which actually controls the sugar level. So that's how we see that the earth element is really here, and the insulin is crucial. And of course, some cells in the body can use the glucose, the sugar, without insulin, but these are the cells which are connected with the central nerve system. But this is okay. However, we need to use whole body, and without insulin, we can't work. So yes. So if the cells are not having the nutrition, the sugar, then they are having lack of energy, and they really can't have energy to work. So everything is slowing down, and all the diabetes problem is that I think, and according to the Chinese medicine, the diabetes, especially the second type, starts already long time before we have it in the results, because these people are usually very slow. They're always tired, and when everything is slowing down, then we can see that the high level of the sugar is somewhere in the body. So that's why it's very important, I think, especially in these days, to be very careful for these symptoms. And I will talk about them later on as well. However, I just wanted to say that this is really pandemia, and we should work with that. And we have the products, we can work with them, we know how to do it. But on the other hand, there is also the client, and this disease is very demanding for him, because usually the consumption and lazy life leads to the diabetes of the second type, which is most common disease and most common type of the diabetes. So that's why that's why there are always like, of course we want to help. However, on the other side, there's really huge demand on changing the life, and it's really life-changing disease. And if these people don't change their life, they can't live, because of course the modern medicine has something for them, but their state is usually getting worse even with the medicaments, because they can work and they can support the body. However, in long-term use, they are having the side effects. And these side effects are usually very strong, and they are leading to the destruction of the body. So even we have the medicaments, we can't rely on them only. So we need to change the life. So, and back to the diabetes, I just wanted to, I have something here about it. So if we have increased blood sugar level, then and if it's for the long term, it damages the certain tissues and organs. So these are the complications of the diabetes. So if the people are not following the diet, and if they don't follow the doctors and they don't change their life, uh, or if they had the diabetes already for long time, then we can see another things which are happening. And these are usually like the wounds which can't heal, or there is the very bad blood circulation in the body, which we can again see back if we go to the back to the pentagram, because from the fire is born the earth element. And on the other hand, when the earth element is too much, with the too much energy, then it can also affect the fire element. So we are back into the cardiovascular system, which is affected by the diabetes as well, and which can be really affected, especially on the fingers and toes. Especially toes and legs are usually very affected by this disease. And you can see so many people with the diabetes, they have amputation of the legs or of the toes, because the blood circulation is really low and it's in bad condition. And if they don't exercise, or they don't follow the diet, which is very strict actually, that can also happen. So that's why we really don't want to have the diabetes disease. And we actually have so many types of the diabetes. The most common are the diabetes of the type 1 and second. Then we have also the gestational diabetes, which is during the pregnancy, and which is usually caused by the uh, different state, let's say, during the pregnancy. So it usually disappears after the birth. And then we have another specific types of diabetes, uh, which are very rare actually. But the first type of diabetes is usually common for children and for youngsters. Sometimes it can be developed in adults. However, these adults are usually having this diabetes already. However, there was still some ability of the organs to absorb the or to work with the insulin. So that's why if they are living like healthy life or they are in good condition, then the diabetes can appear later in their later age, like when they are adults. So this is usually caused by the genetics. Or we can't usually do anything because the genetics causes that there is already the lack of insulin. So if the pancreas can't produce the insulin, somehow the body can work sometime without it. However, later on, it really needs the insulin. That's why this diabetes is something which we can't heal with the Chinese medicine or with the energy products. We can support, however, this type we can't cure because this is only complete absence of insulin in the body, and we really need to add the insulin. However, these clients are usually uh, because they are getting the insulin, so they don't have to follow the strict diet so much. Of course, the diet is really wanted because if you support your body uh, with like several meals a day, with good nutrition, then the body will be much happier. Uh, However, for these clients, if they are getting insulin already, the life is much easier. Uh, that's why in like previous ages before the insulin was developed, and also when we were able to cure this disease, these people usually died very fast because without insulin, your body can't work. And once the insulin is like zero level, then the manifest of disease is very strong, and it's it can develop after the physical or psychological stress, can also develop after the infection or trauma or pregnancy. So really depends how much insulin you will need. Uh, so when it's here, it's all of sudden, sometimes quite dramatic because these people are really losing the weight. They can lose the appetite, or on the other hand, they are eating like crazy. However, it doesn't affect them. And there is also huge thirst. They're really thirsty all the time. They need to drink a lot of water, but even they drink like 2 liters, they're still thirsty. That's why this is one of the symptoms that the doctor are usually seeing the red light, because the thirst is really symptom which is leading to the diabetes. If if uh, if the condition is not recognized during the time, these people are ending up with vomiting, or they have abdominal pain. Sometimes they can even fell into the unconsciousness. However, this is really terminal state. So, but thanks to the blood tests, we are usually we can see how our blood looks like. So usually these diabetes can be recognized very early. So nowadays we are quite safe, let's say, because thanks to the tests and to the medical care we have, we are safe for the diabetes type 1. So uh, what I wanted, yes. So the insulin should be injected into the body for the whole life. This is something which we can't change. So as I already said, the diet is really wanted. However, I know so many people, they are having diabetes of the type 1, and let's say they eat everything. They usually, of course, they are having like some uh, limits. However, they are not limited like the second type. So for the diabetes of the type 1, uh, currently these people are not dying, which is great. And thanks to the new technologies, they even don't have to inject the insulin, which used to be, because they have the special pump which is already operated into their body, and it can also pump the insulin when it's needed, which is amazing. Because as I remember, a friend of mine used to have the diabetes of type 1, and that was very difficult for him, because he had to measure the blood sugar level many times of the day. So he had to take the blood test, which he had already some tester, like the digital one. However, based on the results of the blood test, he had to eat, or he had to take the insulin, which was very strict, and also like stressful and limiting for the child. Because as you can imagine, 12 years old young child, let's say still child, he had to manage so many things. Otherwise, he really, I think once or twice I saw him that he was unconsciousness. And also once, of course, because young people, it's very tough for them, because when everyone had ice cream, he couldn't, because of the sugar. So he was very limited, and sometimes he couldn't resist, because when you can see like all the children are having the ice cream and you can't, then he had to go to the hospital. So nowadays it's much easier and much better, and the life is easier with this disease. However, still we can support these clients with energy, and I believe that even taking insulin uh, doesn't mean that this person will be 100% healthy. So, and the second type, which is, as I already said, the pandemic, because 92% of the people with the diabetes are having the second type of the diabetes. And according to the Chinese medicine and according to the psychosomatic, let's say, idea, this is a problem of the sweetness of life, which is missing. So if we are lacking of the sweetness of life, then we can have diabetes of the second type. And as you can see that these people which are suffering with the diabetes are usually very fat, and this fat is usually caused because they're eating to make huge borders around their body because they need to resist some problems, or they need to get over some huge hurdles which we don't see and we don't know them, or they are just lacking the love in their life. And it doesn't need to be the love of the partner. It can be also love which is missing in their family, or they're thinking that there is no love. So this is also another way how to think about these people, because usually, uh, as I know, that the doctors are usually seeing these people as a fat people which don't do exercise, which are eating too much. Of course, there is genetics as well. However, I think that if we heal the body, we need also heal the mind. And here I can see, whenever I had some client with the diabetes of the second type, I saw that there is also huge problem in their mind. There's something which is really disturbing them, and they couldn't sleep properly. They had also so another many problems, the side problems, which are usually not covered by the doctors, because these doctors can usually see only their field, which is diabetes, and they don't see another problems which are surrounded here. So for these people, we are here as people of energy, to help them and support them, because diabetes of the second type is something which can be cured, if not for 100%. We can change the life and we can make it as better as it's possible. So that's why, even it's pandemia and so many people are suffering with this diabetes, uh, this is the problem which can be solved, which is, I think, good message. So used to be a problem for the older people. However, nowadays it's doesn't matter which is young or child or elderly one. Usually it's connected with the overweight, and or with the people which are really obese. However, as I already said, there is somewhere the source why they are obese. So these people are usually uh, they don't move enough. And again, we are here because if we are bounded to our chairs because we are working by the computer whole day, then it's not so easy, because after 8 hours of sitting by the computer, it's not easy to go to do some exercises because we are really exhausted. Our eyes are tired and our mind as well. So we really need something which can help us to move. So it's not easy, and it's easy to say, "Oh, you're obese because you don't exercise." But usually these people are not stupid or not lazy, but they are just tired. And it's this exhaustion is actually um, developed day by day. So you are more and more tired, but you then at the end of the day you don't have energy to fight uh, with this, and you just better lay down on the sofa and eat your dinner, which maybe sometimes didn't cause you problem because if you had enough of movement, then you could eat maybe two dinners. However, without moving, this dinner will cause you another problem. So there's also a problem with irregular eating because so many people are not having the lunch when they want it or when they are hungry because they don't have time or they don't have chance to eat their lunch or another meal. It doesn't matter. So this is another problem because as we know that the pancreas and spleen are usually in love with the uh, exact time. Actually, the timing is very good for them. And once you have problem with the digestion, then usually even helps if you make some system in the food because then the body is prepared, the digestion system is prepared, and everything is easier. So this irregular eating in a huge doses, usually because you are really hungry after a whole day of not eating, uh, then it makes a huge problem because if you don't eat whole day, then there is always some let's say sugar level. However, if you eat big amount of food at once and once a day, then this blood sugar level increases dramatically, and it's also not good for the body. That's why, like, as I always say, uh, we uh, we shouldn't be in extreme situations for everything. So we should try to be balanced as much as possible. So any extreme is fine. That's why this irregular eating is actually causing the extreme levels of the sugar, and it can harm the organs and their ability to work with the insulin. Of course, the stress, especially this excessive stress, can cause the diabetes of the second type. There is also genetic predisposition, sorry, which I already said. And there are another, like, usually also the diabetes of the second type can develop after the long-term diseases. So if you feel that you are cured, sometimes this can manifest as a diabetes. And also after the COVID, we have many clients which are suffering with the diabetes of the second type. So this is that's why I said there are so many clients with the diabetes. So the diabetes of the second type usually means that there is the insufficient sensitivity of tissues to the effects of insulin. So uh, the pancreas and spleen are producing the insulin. However, the tissues are not absorbing the insulin. So let's say that we have lazy tissues which don't work with the insulin. So that's why I also said that it's very important to see in the pentagram how we should work with the diabetes. And it's also very often associated with so many metabolic abnormalities. So it can be vomiting, it can be loss of appetite. Uh, there can be high blood pressure. Um Sometimes also can be the problem in the uh, urinary system. So sometimes these people, and I already met few clients which were suffering with the diabetes, and at the same time they were suffering with the inflammation, and very like often inflammation of the urinary system. So that's why these two can be also very much connected. Uh, for the diabetes of the second type, there's also there are many types of medicaments. There's a diabetic diet, which is really strict, and physical activity if possible, because sometimes these people are having problem to move already because they are too obese, or they're having the wounds which can't heal, or they are having another problems. And with the diabetes of the second type, there is a huge problem, because since we have the problem of the tissues, and we usually don't know which tissues are having the problem to cooperate with the insulin, so the treatment is really tailor-made. So each client has a special tailor-made treatment by the doctor. And it really depends on the insulin levels, on the blood sugar levels, and really the doctor must adapt the treatment according to the client. Plus, it must be connected with the diet. So this disease is really game changer for the client, because they usually need to change whole life. They need to exercise, they need to eat healthy, and they need to eat in many dosages a day, but very small dosages as well, because we don't need uh, to add to the body, because with the small dosage of food, we don't harm the tissues, we don't harm the body. There is no huge demand for working with the high blood pressure, high blood sugar level. So that's why these people really need to change the life, and it's really limiting, because they need to eat in special hours. So if they ate before like once a day, there is no way how to continue like this. So they need to eat like 5 or 6 times a day. They have usually 2 dinners. That's why it's really changing. This disease changes their life. Um there are so many symptoms which can lead you that maybe your client is suffering with the diabetes. I sorry, I wrote them down. There is usually increased urine production. It's like you need to go many times a day. However, the dosage of the urine is really small. Uh, it's also there is this increased drinking, so they drink a lot. Um, so the also the hunger. They're hungry, so much hungry, never satisfied. Even if they eat enough, they are not full. And there is also huge fatigue. It's really, these people are tired and they're exhausted like during the whole day. And especially, they're very tired around in the morning and during the noontime, because especially during the hours which are connected to the pancreas and spleen. So this is also symptom you can see according to the Chinese medicine. Sometimes there can be also the weight loss, and what is very common, these people are not good mooded. They're usually like always blue. So and also too much thinking. Uh, as we already said many times, the overthinking is harming the pancreas and spleen. So this is leading them again because it's already hurt. So they are thinking about everything, about the small things. Sometimes they're making from the small things the huge problems. So this is also some of the symptoms which can be connected to the diabetes. Also, the blurred vision. This is something which is actually connected to the more to the wood element, to the livers. However, as we already know, the livers can also affect the earth element. That's why the vision can be one of the symptoms. So, and we have some products which we can use for the diabetes. So, the number one for the diabetes of the type 1 is Ginex. Because with Ginex, we are supporting the pancreas and spleen directly. Uh, we also support the immunity system. So even if these people are getting insulin already, if we support the spleen and pancreas, we won't never make mistake. So that's why Ginex is number one for these people. Um, it also centralize their mind. So because if you are adding the insulin into your body, it doesn't mean that the pancreas and spleen are working properly, because they have problems since the beginning. That's why we need to support the spleen and pancreas. That's why Ginex is very good for them. It's calming down their mind, because even if you have insulin, your mind can be really disturbed. That's why Ginex is very nice choice for these clients, and makes them happy. It's really good, and I have the clients which are taking Ginex almost for whole life, because this pancreas you can't change, but you need to support. So in these cases, we usually go like Ginex with a phytomineral, and then we make the break, and after the break we usually change into Mycopan and phytomineral, and we always add the phytomineral. Phytomineral is a crucial product for the diabetes. Doesn't mean which type of the diabetes, because there is the lack of the minerals in the body, and the phytomineral is number one product, because it's colloid mineral, which is natural. So it's natural for the body to work with them, and the absorption is up to 90%, which is amazing, because if your body can take from this 90, almost 90% of the minerals, then your um, your lack of the minerals is actually down, because the phytomineral can really support the mineral management. So there are so many effects which Ginex is good for. Oh my God, we need to move on. Another great product is Regalen. I would say Regalen is much better for the type 2 of the diabetes, because it really supports the chi flow, which is crucial, because we have the lazy tissues which are usually blocked by something. That's why they usually don't cooperate with the insulin. So if we unblock these blocks, and Regalin is amazing in this work, then sometimes we can really help ourselves so much, especially on the beginning and with the not so uh, critical diabetes. Uh, then we usually add the huge doses of the phytomineral and Regalen. Be careful with the Regalen, because it has strong reversion. However, as soon as you know that you have diabetes of the second type, then start with the phytomineral and with the Regalen. Regalen, and it doesn't work like with the one cure. You really need to go like a half year at least, because the diabetes of the second time doesn't develop within 1 week. It's developing many years already, or you have predisposition for these genetic ones. So that's why we need to support the body. And with Regalen, we support the wood element, and the wood element will affect the earth element, and it will make the earth element to work properly. Of course, the diabetes of the second type is different than the first type. That's why we need to think about it, and that's why we need to think about the source of the problem. But usually in this population is the problem because the intoxication of the organism, of the blockades of the organism, of the wood element which is harmed. So that's why if we support the wood element, the earth element will be balanced as well. and the diabetes can be pretty much cured. So that's why I think that the Regalen and Phytomineral are very the best. And I know from some clients and some doctors that these results were amazing. So if you will have these clients, Regalen and Phytomineral are number one. Of course, exercising and diet. The great nutrition is one of the critical thing in curing the diabetes. So we always need to have it in mind that there is the diet. So the Regalen and Phytomineral won't do anything if these people won't change the diet. That's also very important thing. Funny thing is that usually if these people are suffering with a blurred vision, after the Regalen, the vision is fine, usually. So this is also, if you will see the symptoms of the eyes, then you will know that the way leads you to the wood element. So as I already said, the phytomineral is crucial, and some studies which were not made by the classical doctors but by the veterinarians, they showed that usually the minerals like chromium and vanadium are lacking in the body, and that's why this deficiency can manifest into the diabetes of the second type. Also, the second type of the diabetes can have the symptom like of the sweet tooth. So you usually need to eat something sweet. Of course, we are um, uh, I think almost all of us need something sweet always. However, this sweet tooth is really extreme. Um, So that's why the phytomineral is amazing, because it contains the vanadium, which is natural. That's why it has such a good result. We have Mycopan, which I already said we can use. And again, it will depend which way we need to follow. So Mycopan will be mostly for the diabetes of one. However, as a good support, we can have it also for the second type, as well as a mycohepar. So actually, Mycopan is really good because it complements the chi and also takes out the mucus. Which is usually caused by the high blood sugar level. And we have Anona. I have also very good results with the Anona. And since the diabetes is long-term disease, so we will need to change the cure sometimes. That's why if you are or your client is taking phytomineral and Regalen for long term, then you can switch to Anona or you can switch to Ginex, because Anona is very nice product. It supports whole body, and it has effects with the diabetes. That's why I would love you to help with Anona to your clients with the diabetes. There is also Lapachoti, which can be support as well as a chidring. And since we know that the fire element is also element which is affected by the diabetes and which can lead you to another problems, then we can also go for Corolan. And if we need to light up the body, we can also use Cytosan. But be careful with the medicaments because again, Cytosan needs 2 hours break from the medicaments because otherwise it will take them out as well. There are another things like the green food, so you can always support with the spirulina. You can support these clients with probiosan, which is very nice. Um, Also, sometimes, especially for the not healing wounds, there's amazing thing like skeleton or Draximun, because mm, with the diabetes, there are wounds which really won't heal, and this wound is usually like a huge fire, and it's causing the inflammation in the body. So we need to uh, renew the blood circulation, which we can help with the ruticelit, which is amazing also. So um, for the all clients of the diabetes, it would be amazing if they could massage their legs with the ruticelit. It's again life limitation because they need to do something for themselves. However, ruticelit is opening the skin. It's bringing the oxygen to the skin and to the organs and muscles and veins. That's why we need to support the veins. Otherwise, then we have these wounds which won't heal. And for these wounds, of course, we can use Artrin, we can use Draximun. These are the bests. And Anona, in this case, is really amazing. So if you have someone who is already suffering with these wounds, then you can support him with this. Also, for the wounds, we can add the King Kong, which is really nice combination. So as you can see, with the diabetes, we have so many products we can work with. And the diabetes is complex disease, which is not, sometimes it's taken too much lightly by the clients because they depend on the Western medicine, which is pretty much developed. However, I think that these people are usually uh, forgetting why they got this disease, and they need to change something in their life. So they need to cure themselves, they need to love themselves, and then they need to change the way of their life, which is really, really demanding. And I think we can help them very, very nicely. And we can cure, especially the second type of the diabetes, pretty much. But always be aware of the pentagram because the source of the problems can be a little bit different. It also depends what the doctor and the results said. So because sometimes the diabetes of the second type can already develop on the cardiovascular system problems. So it can be the second second phase of the problems. So then we will start with corollary naturally. So you really need to see where the source of the problem is, and then we can work with it. So, and I worry that we are already over the time again. So I think the cardiovascular system we will make the next time, because this is another huge theme which I actually didn't manage very well with the timing because I thought that the diabetes will be much shorter, but since it's a very common disease, I wanted to give you some good tips and wanted to give you some more information. So I'm sorry, and cardiovascular system we will make the next time. Or if you won't have your questions for the next webinar, we can make it during the webinar, which we have Martina.
The next webinar is in 3 weeks, and it's the 24th of May.
Yes, and this is the clinical one.
Yes, it's the case study, so we will ask you for your questions, and
Yes,
we can finish the cardiovascular system the next time. So we don't
great.
miss anything. So, Misho, thank you very much for your great webinar. I thank everyone for watching, and I will be looking forward the next time. So, until then, thank you, and thanks for sharing the Energy family.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for your attention and looking forward for the next time.